Kove's new 350 engine took second place in the WSBK. Curious about it, I've got one here to tear down. Is it just a bored-out version of the Kove 321 engine? In this episode, we'll compare it with the 321 to find out. After removing the clutch cover, the interior is actually quite different. For instance, there's no balancer shaft gear here, whereas the 321 does have one. The corresponding crankshaft and balancer shaft should have contact gears, right? But they're missing on the crankshaft too. So the entire setup inside the clutch cover is completely different. Even the clutch assembly itself is different. I'll bring over the Kove 321 engine so you guys can compare them. This one is the Kove 321. With them side by side, the difference is obvious, right? Whether it's the gears or the oil pump, nothing is the same. Let's look at the oil pump section. On the Kove 350 engine, the oil pump is located right here, and the pressure relief valve is over here. This oil pump is driven directly by the crankshaft, so there's no oil pump idler gear. But on the Kove 321, the clutch drives the oil pump via an idler gear. The structure is completely different. Alright, let's keep dismantling. Check out the clutch. The Kove 350 uses a slipper clutch. The clutch design, as you can see, is also different from the 321. It's a completely new development. These clutch plates are Japanese FCC. Unexpectedly using FCC clutch plates. So this is a Chongqing clutch. Moreover, the clutch basket has reinforcement ribs, like this one here. Reinforcement ribs are usually found on large displacement bikes. Seeing them in this displacement class is a first for me. Now let's look at the gear shift shaft. Comparing it to the Kove 321, it's also different. Remove the bearing retainer and check the bearing. It's a Japanese brand. The timing chain tensioner is also different from the Kove 321. Some people have been asking lately if the tensioners are interchangeable. I can tell you clearly, they are not. Look at the cylinder head cover. Doesn't it have a bit of a Honda vibe? The head is completely different from the Kove 321. The camshaft is made of nodular cast iron. Check out the cylinder head structure. And now look at the Kove 321 again. The footage now shows the Kove 321 head. Is it significantly different, right? So how did this 350 engine come about? Since this bike isn't on the market yet, the day after Kove won the runner-up at the WSBK, I saw them claim the 350 engine was a full in-house design. I contacted them and said, "Oh man," I said, "your 321 engine to 350 bore-up job was quite a success." Well, they weren't having it. They said, "This isn't just a bored-out engine. It's a completely self-developed, brand new engine." He said if I didn't believe him, he'd send me one to see for myself. Haha, seriously? That played right into my hands. Saves me the trouble of asking for one. And that's how this engine got here. Kove also mentioned that their future 350 production models will use an engine identical to the one used in WSBK. The parts are exactly the same. Look, the cylinder block is ceramic plated. Looks beautiful under the flashlight, doesn't it? Their point is they're bringing race tech to the civilian market without any downgrades, though the tuning will likely be different. Let's do another comparison. The top one is the 350 cylinder. The bottom one is the Kove 321 cylinder. As you can see, they are quite different, especially this bottom section. Now, let's check the piston. This is a forged piston. The piston pin is the same as the one in their 450RR. It's a DLC-coated piston pin. Look how dark it is. The piston is made by Gangliang, with the production date stamped November 24, 2023. Look at the piston rings. They are from Gangliang, with an anodized finish. This process was used on the Yamaha FC250. There's still room for improvement here. For example, DLC coating would be better. The piston crown also has a micro-arc oxidation treatment. As for the crankcase porting, you can see compared to the 321, it's entirely different. No wonder Kove argued with me that this engine was fully self-developed. This 350 engine has a compression ratio of 12.5 to 1. Maximum horsepower is 47.6 horsepower. Maximum power is 35 kilowatts. The sprocket is hollowed out for weight reduction. Max torque is 32.2 Newton meters. Peak torque hits at 9,000 revolutions per minute. Peak power hits at 11,500 revolutions per minute. Let's look at the 321 engine specs again. Max horsepower is 39.4 horsepower. Max power is 29 kilowatts. Max torque is 28 Newton meters. The improvement in this unit is quite massive. Let's also compare the Magneto cover. Different as well. Since the 350's max power is at 11,500 revolutions per minute, take a guess. What's the maximum RPM of this engine? It should be well over 11,500. Probably over 12,000. They wouldn't let the fuel cut off right at the power peak. That would make the riding experience very frustrating. Not sure when the 350 will officially launch. I think it's worth a try. This engine is likely their second highly self-developed machine, after the Kove 450RR. From these two models, we can see that Kove's engine R&D team is truly capable. So when some netizens define Kove as a Horizon, cheap generic brand, I don't think that's fair. A Horizon brand couldn't pull this off. Look at the crankshaft. At a glance, you see plain bearings. Let me take them out to show you. They are Japanese Daido plain bearings. Because of the overall plating, the installation marks are quite visible. Removing the balancer shaft. Look at the timing chain. It's from the Japanese brand Daido. Alright, let's look at the rod bearings and the connecting rods. These rods are made by Chongqing Jiangdong Machinery. They are fractured split connecting rods. The shells are also plain bearings. Check the brand. Also using Japanese Daido. So both main and rod bearings are Daido. When the 321 was updated to plain bearings, only the rod bearings were changed. The main bearings remained the same. Look at the crankshaft. It's produced by Jiangsu Gangliang. I don't need to introduce Gangliang crankshafts further. Let's compare the crankshafts too. The bottom one is the 321 crankshaft. The top one is the 350 crankshaft. No similarities here either. Alright, time for the summary. The teardown is complete. In short, this engine is a completely redesigned unit. The architecture is quite solid. It clearly demonstrates the expertise of Kove's engine team. Both this 350 and the 450RR are truly impressive. The cylinder head does borrow from the Honda CBR 250RR. For the bearings, both main and rod bearings use Japanese Daido. Connecting rods are fractured split. Crankshaft is from Gangliang. They've invested heavily in quality parts. The timing chain is did. The piston and cylinder are also top tier. Forged pistons. DLC piston pins. Just a personal suggestion. Higher grade piston rings would be even better. But considering it passed the WSBK tests, it shouldn't be an issue. As for its actual performance, we'll have to wait for the 350 to launch. I'll leave that judgment to you guys. If you're interested, give us a like. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.